welcome back to another video. This really popped when I saw it. That to me is a monster increase. Again, this book got hot. This book is ready to go higher.
So let's jump right into it.
We are back today with another statue review from Diamond Select Toys. Without further ado, let's get into the review. What is going on, YouTube? This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics Collectibles, and welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a rant because while I was doing some research for Copper Drop this week, I was looking up some books and I could not believe what I saw when I looked up this one book. And I really want to talk about it, get it off my chest, and hear from you out there in the community and what you think. But before we get started in today's videos, like always, guys, if you are not a current subscriber of the channel, do me a favor, go ahead and click that subscribe button for me. It does help the channel out. I want you to smash that like button if you are inclined and turn on the notification bell because it lets you guys know when I post new videos. With that said, my merch store is open for sale. If you guys are interested in anything, I have comics on there as well. Do me a favor, check it out. You won't be disappointed. With that said, guys, I was looking up some books on GPA the other day when I was doing some research for Copper Drop, and I could not believe what I saw when I got to one book. The book I'm referring to is, of course, Ultimate Fallout 4, but the 1 in 25 Djevic variant. Now, I knew this book was very expensive, but when I looked at the numbers, I could not believe how far it has gone up over the past year and a half. I mean, when I get into the numbers, you guys are not going to believe it either. It is straight insanity. And I wanted to get you guys' opinion on it because I think it's absolutely ludicrous that a book has come this far, this quick. But a little bit of information. I know this book is super scarce. So it's a 1 in 25 incentive variant. So for every 25 books that a store bought, it got one exclusive variant. Now, with that said, when I was looking up these numbers, I looked at a CGC 9.8 grade. Now, as far as I can tell, in the 9.8 grade, the blue labels, not a signature series, there's only, I think, 158 of them out there. If the CGC numbers are correct, so I don't know if there are any CBCS one. I just kind of looked at the CGC numbers from their census, and I could not believe how expensive this book was. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the numbers together. I took a 9.8, like I said, a blue label, non-signature series. I know this book is super scarce. Like I said, 158 copies in a 9.8, as opposed to the regular cover, I believe, is over 3,000 copies at a 9.8, which is still a ton. Regardless, at a 9.8, the 2020 average, you're talking about, maybe a year and a half, a year and 3/4. The average for that year was only $5,069 on 13 sales. We went to 2021. It jumped up to $19,120, quadrupling over that year for the average. That is insane in itself, but it gets better. The 12-month rolling average almost doubled again, going to $35,188 on 4 sales. So under 10 sales a year, it's looking like, for this book, which I get, it's super scarce at a 9.8, or just super scarce regardless. The 90-day average up again to $40,526 on 2 sales. Now the last sale up one more time to $40,800. Where is this book going to stop? I mean, we're talking about almost increasing tenfold in maybe just over a year and a half. This is insanity. You could kind of see the graph on the bottom where it went and where it is now. The average over that time was about 7 sales. This is crazy, guys. I mean, we're talking about owning a $40,000 book. I know scarcity is driving this book up. I know it is a popular character being in Miles, but the way Ultimate Fallout 4, the regular standard cover, is dropping right now, what is this book going to do? Is it going to drop? If it does drop, is it going to drop 25% like the regular version? I mean, we're talking about a $10,000 haircut here on a modern age book. I got to hear from the collectors out there in the community. What do you think of this book? What do you think of the price that it is going for right now? Because I think it's absolutely insane. I know there are collectors out there who only collect scarcity and they like spending big bucks on something that nobody else can have. And I get that to an extent. But we're talking about value here. How many people are going to go out there and spend $40,000 on a 9.8 copy of this book as opposed to $40,000 on a major grail, on a major superhero that's been around for 70 years? I mean, that's the way I look at it. I know I'm an old school collector, but listen, I have modern books. I don't have too many, but I do have, Ultimate Fallout 4, the regular cover. I do have an Edge of Spider-Verse 2 in a 9.8 as well. I only buy big modern books, but we're talking about spending a ton of money for exclusivity only, right? To have one of those 9.8, 158 copies according to the CGC census. And I think there's another 20-something or 30-something that are 9.8 signature series as well. So I have to know what you're thinking. Are you scared at this point that this book is going to come down just like the regular A version, and when it comes down, it's going to be the same percentage that it was coming down for that cover, 25% roughly? It is a ton of money to drop, especially on a modern age book, in my opinion. The character is not tried and true. I get he's been around for 11 and a half years now. Great character, but what happens when this book starts to fall like everything else? Are you going to hold on to this book? Are we going to hold on to this book 30, 40 years like we talk about all these blue chip keys? I need to hear from people out there in the community, the regular collector, the people who, maybe someone who owns this book that would explain it to me better than the way I'm seeing it. And if you do own this book, are you scared to death of the drop that you might get in it because of the market coming in? This is my rant for today because I just could not believe how far this book has come in a year and a half, a year and 3/4. We're talking about $5,000 to over $40,000. That is crazy. When I do Copper Drop, I talk about the double because that seems to be like a good measuring stick for, assessing a book's value over the past year and a half, year and 3/4. If a book is doubled, that means to me it's almost probably worth it. There's a lot of people out there buying that book. When it doesn't get that double, in my opinion, there are not as many people invested in that book that there has for some of the other books. That tells me that the book is of importance, right? So what does this book tell me that we don't have a double? We have like a 10-tuple. I don't even know what the word would be. Almost 10-fold higher from where it started around the same time. I don't know where to go. When I talk about this and I see this type of jump over the short period of time, it takes me back to when we do the Hot 10 list as well, where I say a book is up 30 to 50% since the prior week sale, which is that's like put something in my head. Hey, this book is going too quick. Don't go after it. It's just too much right now because it's probably going to end up falling back in. But this is something on another level. Not a lot of people have $40,000 to throw around on a comic book. So the people who are spending the money on this book, I need to know the thought process here. Anyone who knows, please drop me comments down below. And anyone out there who agrees with me or maybe wants to put in their own input and say, hey, this is why this is happening, drop me comments down below because I do not understand it. And I'd be definitely afraid if I own this book right now of it coming in with the market pulling in as it is. I know there's not a lot of sales. We had 2 sales over the past 90 days, 4 over the past 12 months, 8 the prior year, and 13 the prior year. Now, this doesn't include Comic Link. I saw they recently had a 9.6 sale for $9,200. So this is a 9.8 Dejevik variant, 1 in 25, $40,000. Just a major sale. So I need to know from anyone out there any type of information they can give me because I just think this is nuts. With that said, this is my rant for today, guys. I'd love to hear what you think about this one, especially everyone out in the community that I know, people that I don't know. I would really love to hear it. Miles fans, variant fans, scarce collector fans. Drop me comments. Let me know what you think. With that said, this is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles saying thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.